Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Katerina Georgieva. This is CBC Windsor News. Local tourism operators are hoping to cash in on tariffs turning travelers off the United States. As we've reported, cross-border traffic is down and national airlines are reducing routes to the States. Local tourism sees an opportunity there and it's pitching hard on staycations. Jacob Barker has more.
The staycation event here at Devonshire Mall is an annual one, but this year it's a little different because it's happening in the shadow of a trade war with the United States. And for the businesses, towns, and organizations trying to convince Canadians here to take their vacations at home, it might help make that argument a little easier.
I think that's what we should have been doing before even the trade war to begin with. So I'm all for staycation.
With all the tariffs and all that, I wouldn't spend my money over there. I'd stay home.
If you want an analogy, look to the good old days of rum running.
A lot of people were against the prohibition thing, but we found ways to skirt it. A lot of people are against this whole tariff things. Let's get together, find a way how we can get around it and still be prosperous.
Except these days, the consumption is happening on this side of the border. Glenn Baccaro's rum running tour is seeing more interest from people choosing to stay here this year round.
It's the whole stay Canadian thing, elbows up, mentality. And I think people are looking now, we don't have the option to go to the States, or maybe we're fearful to go to the States. What can we do in our own country?
And the alcohol is pouring at this event for free. Some grabbing a shot already have their minds made up for this summer.
Yeah, I am staying in Canada this year, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, tariffs. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm staying.
Okay.
Yeah, just the political climate down there, I'm not. I had plans to go down to Dallas in June, we canceled those plans.
The Kingsville folks say that Americans are still making the trip to come eat at their restaurants and to stay a while. While Canadians are always invited to do the same, there is a different way to appeal to them.
I think American friends are traveling from a bit more of a distance, so they're wanting accommodations and longer packages and stays, where many of our Canadian visitors can still come from the day from London or Hamilton and join us for the day but still head back home. We love people to stay a while though.
This Peely Island farm shop worker also says the bookings are up among Canadian travelers this year over last, but the trade war's positive influence on interest here isn't just affecting us.
Oh, we're getting a bump in American travelers that love Canada and want to come over and support Canada in these wild times that we live.
Homegrown food for thought as we head into the summer season.
Let's turn now to the federal election to zoom in on one more local riding. Chris Ensing went to Sarnia to ask, what do voters want?
People in Sarnia are known for picking winners, starting in 1963 and for a string of federal elections that ran decades. If this area voted the party in, that party would win the federal election. That ended in 2015 when Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister with the Liberals, and this area voted for the Conservatives. People here have been voting blue for nearly 20 years. The district has grown for this election. Sarnia, Lambton, Bikejwanong now stretches further up Lake Huron to Grand Bend, and as the name suggests, now includes Bikejwanong, also known as Walpole Island First Nation. Most voters, they live in Sarnia, and they have connections to Canada's second largest cluster of petrochemical companies. How the next government treats the oil and gas sector is top of mind.
Well, I think the Conservatives want to keep the oil going and oil's here to stay. I mean, not going to, everything is made oil. That thing's made oil.
The border city's cross-border traffic has dropped during U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war. Some voters want a leader who will stand up to his tariffs.
The tariffs, the unemployment coming up, the auto workers, the steel workers, I think they're all in trouble.
Others think the 51st state stuff is just a joke that needs to end so Canada can focus on the housing crisis.
Well, the housing for sure. That's like one of my number one complaints. I'm in my late 20s and I still don't have a house, so it'd be nice. Yeah. Still living at home.
We're actually seeing a lot more working poor.
Miles Vanny runs a shelter that sees demand rising. A tent city at a downtown park gripped people's attention last year. It's cleared now. Vanny wants the next government, whoever that is, to help get affordable housing built.
But one of the challenges not-for-profits like ours are facing is that how do we get the funding to build that building? There's lots of loans available, but if you're all alone and mortgages and the interest carrying costs, and you're only charging $800 a month for that apartment, it just doesn't raise enough to cover those operating costs. So the government really needs to focus on not-for-profits, enabling them by providing grants for those buildings.
After years of polarized Canadian politics, there's doubts that any of the party leaders can work together.
No.
Hell no.
No. I don't trust them to work together. Again, would be nice if they did, but I do not trust them to work together. There's too much animosity between them.
About 10% of this district's population has already voted. The rest can decide on Monday. Chris Hudson, CBC News, Sarnia.
The campaign trail is in the home stretch now, and two party leaders will be spending part of their time here in Windsor. Both Liberal leader Mark Carney and NDP leader Jagmeet Singh will be in the city on Saturday. Where leaders choose to spend their time this weekend says a lot, according to this political scientist.
Well, at this stage, all the leaders will want to be making appearances in ridings where it's likely that it's a close race. And so they want to do their best to give that final push to engage the voters in a riding where there's a possibility they could win, but it's not a slam dunk.
The Liberals have their eye on Windsor West. It's been held by the NDP's Brian Massey for more than 2 decades. But Simmons says the Liberals appear to think it is a tight and winnable race. Colette Kennedy joins us now for our first look at weather. Colette, how's it looking into the evening?
Yeah, well, quite a difference we're seeing here as I show you some of the showers and, of course, thunderstorms that are rolling through as well. All the blue here, the lightning strikes. So in terms of what's happening this evening, well, we'll be busy. Not everyone is going to get a downpour. In terms of the amounts, it's likely to be 5 to 10 millimeters. Other than where you locally get caught by one of these, and then we could see that going up to 15 to 20. So this activity continuing to track to the north and east and through our skies through the evening. Then breezy conditions, cooler, the temperature falls 9 degrees tonight and just a high of 13 with those windy conditions tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, Colette.
You're welcome.
This election, we've heard politicians talk about the need for more doctors, but something that's often overlooked is the need for better access to health information. CBC's Jennifer LaGrassa explains.
Can you access your medical records, past tests or scans? Majority of Canadians can't, and healthcare providers often can't share your information amongst themselves. Ahead of the federal election, I wanted to see what Canada's main parties are doing about this issue. But before we get into their responses, let's look at why this is a problem.
So healthcare is a team sport. It's like hockey.
That's Flav La Liberté. She's a patient partner at McGill University Health Centre who advises on digital health improvements. She says your health information is the puck, and the puck needs to be easily passed between players. The players are your doctor, your pharmacist, your specialist, even your hospital. But what's making the system messy is instead of one puck, there are multiple, each containing only a piece of your health information. And where are you? You're in the stands, unable to follow the pucks. In other words, you can't keep track of your health information, and neither can the medical professionals.
And we know that when Canadians can access their health information, they are more knowledgeable about the care that they're receiving. They're more confident. And then from a systems benefit perspective, when we ask Canadians if they have access to health information, they have 45% of them have avoided a face-to-face visit with their family clinicians. And about 34% said they avoided a visit to the ER.
Healthcare experts and leaders agree this is a priority, and they are working on it. But they also say there's more to be done.
In many countries, with the ease of looking at your phone, you can access an app that has, your key health records just right there at your fingertips. And in many of the countries, the way they've made that happen is by passing legislation.
And there was legislation. It's called Bill C-72, the Connected Care for Canadians Act. But because Parliament was prorogued, it was essentially thrown out. Some experts I spoke with said they want to see this bill revived. So where do the main parties stand on this? Both the Liberals and the NDP say that they support policies that will allow Canadians to have secure and timely access. The Green Party said that they will revisit Bill C-72. The Conservative Party did not respond to a request for comment. Jennifer LaGrassa, CBC News, Windsor.
Some parents are worried childcare costs in Ontario might go up. Here's why it's an election issue.
It's a massive help to our family. I do not see childcare as any sort of a luxury. I really do see it as an absolute priority.
For this Windsor mom, the federal childcare initiative is vital with her son about to start daycare. She and her husband have planned their budget around it. And right now, the rate in Ontario is $22 a day with the promise of going down to $10. The current deal expires in March. But before the election was called, former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced a new deal, extending the program to 2031. Ontario is on the list of provinces to get funding, but the province did not formally sign the agreement. And then this week, the provincial education ministry sent this letter to parents with children in daycares. It warns that unless the federal government steps up with more money for the program in Ontario, daycare costs could rise above $22 a day as of April 2026.
We were really hopeful for the 10. If it stayed at 22, we'll be fine. But if it goes up, it's really scary. We both need to work, especially in this economy.
The minister says the province is currently being underfunded by $10 billion and hopes whoever wins the election will step up to the plate.
It's time we stop yanking people's chain and tell them, if it's not going to be $10 a day, then what does the funding provide parents and what choices do they need to make?
This childcare advocate says the minister's letter was fear-mongering.
I thought it was irresponsible. And it was not at all clear in the letter what his motivation in sending such a letter was. So one can only speculate that he was engaging in politics. I was appalled by the Minister of Education doing it, sending such a letter, and it really just raised fears without saying what the Ontario government was intending to do to ensure that the program could continue.
Election platforms are vague on this. The Liberals have promised to protect and strengthen the National Childcare Program, but the platform does not mention additional funding. The Conservatives vow to honor existing deals with provinces and territories on childcare and pharmacare, but there's no word on what the plans are for provinces like Ontario with deals expiring soon.
We are so nervous.
I think it is a moment to be very concerned about the future of early learning and childcare, and I hope that concern translates into voting decisions next week at the federal level.
In other news, Hudson's Bay has started liquidation sales for its last remaining stores, marking what could be the beginning of the end of the storied retailer. Sophia Harris reports.
Many hoped it wouldn't come to this.
What you got? I got a towel from the bay.
6 Hudson's Bay stores, previously spared, including this one, have joined the liquidation sales after the cash-strapped company failed to find them a buyer.
I feel really sad. My mother used to work here.
This could mean the end of Hudson's Bay, as all 96 locations, including Saks brand stores, are now slated to close by mid-June.
When I first came here, this is one of my best stores. So I'm shocked that this has happened.
It's also unwelcome news for Hudson's Bay's more than 9,000 employees, including workers at this Bay online distribution center, who now know it's likely no jobs will be spared.
People's lives have been turned upside down. People made plans, and those plans are just ruined right now. It's devastating for everybody here and also in all the stores.
The retailer may not disappear entirely. There are multiple offers for a segment of the business, so a new, smaller version could emerge, perhaps one which monetizes those iconic stripes.
I think that there's a little bit of latitude to take that sort of HBC logo and put it on more merchandise. The brand still has a lot of affinity, and it has incredible heritage.
That incredible heritage includes thousands of historical artifacts, many of which Hudson's Bay plans to put up for auction. Preservationists hope some notable items, like this royal charter from 1670, establishing Hudson's Bay, won't wind up in a private collection.
The Royal Proclamation Charter is perhaps one of the most important documents in Canadian history. This is something that should belong in public hands.
On Thursday, Hudson's Bay got court approval to go ahead with its auction. The retailer has yet to reveal which historical items will be up for sale and has been directed to consult with concerned parties before finalizing its list. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
We'll be right back with the very latest from the federal election trail. Stay with us. Welcome back. With only 3 days left until the election, Liberal leader Mark Carney made a campaign stop at a steel plant in Northern Ontario. CBC's Ashley Burke brings us more from the road.
Just days before the election, Liberal leader Mark Carney is focusing on vote-rich Ontario. His first stop here in Sault Ste. Marie, a riding his party narrowly won in the last election with just over 300 votes compared to the Conservative candidate. The Liberals are trying to hold on to seats like this one in the province and make gains. Carney is once again calling on voters, regardless of their political stripes, to help him win a strong mandate.
And I'm asking for your vote for positive reasons, regardless of which party you voted for in the past. I'm asking for your vote to stand up to Donald Trump.
Carney started the first week of his campaign meeting with workers impacted by Trump's tariffs in Ontario and is ending his campaign the same way. He visited a major steel producer that says it's losing millions of dollars a month.
The tariffs are very concerning to our company and our workers. The steel market has been impacted. by the U.S. tariffs. Access to the U.S. market is really important, and the economic impacts are very concerning.
Carney reiterated how he plans to help by using the money raised from tariffs to help workers like the ones he met today. It's all part of his effort to try and differentiate himself from his main opponent, Pierre Poilievre, and try and make his case to Canadians that he has the economic experience the country needs in a trade war. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The last Friday of the election campaign saw Pierre Poilievre in Saskatoon. The Prairies are a region the Conservatives are counting on. And after recapping the agenda he set out over the last 4.5 weeks, he made his pitch to get the vote out.
I want a country with a big opportunity, as big as the prairie sky. That is my purpose in politics, to bring home Canada's promise, but it takes change to do it. And on Monday, we all need to vote for change. Now let's bring it home. Thank you very much.
Poilievre will be in BC, Calgary, and Sudbury on Saturday before wrapping up his campaign in Southern Ontario on Sunday. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh campaigned in Toronto, doubling down on his party's pledge to defend healthcare and prioritize affordability for Canadians. As Marina von Stackelberg reports, he also addressed why he didn't trigger a federal election sooner.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh says he stands behind his decision to not trigger a federal election sooner. The New Democrats supported the Liberal minority government in the House of Commons for more than 2 years in return for key social programs. Last fall, Singh ripped up the deal, but despite threats to vote non-confidence, the NDP never brought down the Liberal government. It's been a key attack point for the Conservatives, who say the New Democrats were no different from the Liberal government. Singh saying now there was a big reason why he let the Liberals keep governing. Conservatives were polling to win a majority government.
I could not stomach the idea of Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives forming a majority government. I knew that was going to be bad. I knew that was going to be bad because of their cuts, because of their division, because of the things they wanted.
As part of the deal, the New Democrats pushed the Liberals to bring in national dental and drug programs. Singh says the other reason for his decision to keep the Liberals afloat was to make sure Canadians actually started to receive major healthcare programs the NDP had fought for.
And we wanted more time. First of all, we wanted people to actually benefit from the dental care and the pharmacare. We wanted people to actually get those benefits.
Singh told reporters he thought if people were actually receiving the benefits by the time an election was called, it would make it harder for any future government to take them away. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Toronto.
And as always, CBC News has you covered for election night. That is, of course, this coming Monday, April 28th. Our chief political correspondent, Rosemary Barton, will be hosting with minute-by-minute updates as polls close across the country. And that will all begin at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch that wherever you watch CBC News. And stay with us. Colette Kennedy will join us right after the break with your full weather forecast. Colette Kennedy is back with us now for more on weather. Colette, going into the weekend, we know that there are some storms rolling through in these parts, but it's not going to ruin the whole weekend, rest assured.
Yeah, that's right. We just have to kind of hang in there. It's going to take some patience tomorrow before those clouds start to break up, but they will, and most of the wet weather is really in these evening hours. So if you are going to be headed out, you need to plan accordingly or be prepared for some downpours here. We'll show you that radar in a moment, but the current temperature is 19 degrees after being up to 24, 16 there for Chatham-Kent, even Sarnia, some of those storms reaching through your skies as well. And there are those winds which are currently coming from the south to southeast, but winds are really going to play a factor as we move into the weekend. So I will say that tonight the winds will start to pick up, and it is going to be breezy, those conditions through the day tomorrow. Now, we've had some stronger gusts just because of some of these thunderstorms that are rolling through along with the rain showers. More of the lightning strikes here just kind of going around to the north and headed towards Sarnia, but you still have some downpours coming in across Leamington towards Lakeshore and through this area as we head in through the next few hours. I'd say give it about the next 3 hours or so, and then things improve. In fact, hey, let's stop it here at 11 p.m. and you can see how much improvement. It's likely even 10 p.m. before much of this is gone, and then just an isolated sprinkle kind of here and there. Now, I said be patient on Saturday, so morning hours, quite a bit of cloud cover still in there. Into the afternoon, that begins to break up and erode, becoming kind of variable in our skies. So we will, the sun's not setting till after 8 p.m., so we will get several hours of sunshine in there during those daylight hours. Into Sunday, plenty of vitamin D to be had because we will have high pressure in place, anchored, and with that we'll have dry conditions and the winds will begin to ease up too, so that will help. It's sort of hard to predict exactly where you'll get some of the heavier amounts with the downpours, so it could exceed even 15 millimeters if you get one of these thunderstorms rolling right over top of you. Otherwise, it's much more negligible, like 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. Temperature is going to be cool. Cooler. We're back towards the single digits, at least 9 degrees overnight tonight. It's the daytime high tomorrow. It takes some getting used to after where we've been for the last few days with those highs. So 13 with those breezy winds coming out of the north to northwest. A chilly feel to those. Sunday, we rebound nicely. Monday, a good day. Tuesday, I do want to say, chance because of that heat and a cold front coming in for some active weather. So I'll be watching that carefully.
Sounds good. That tends to happen this time of year, so we'll have to deal with it. Thank you, Colette, and thank you everybody for watching. Have a fabulous weekend.
Good night.